Chris,
Yes.
it's so great to have you back in Nashville and to finalize
Wonderful to be
not only the recording that we're doing, but getting to play your music live. And very proudly, this recording will include your fifth symphony, of which Nashville Symphony is a co-commissioner, but also two other works that when we talked about the recording, basically were your choices of pieces that you wanted to showcase. And I've always felt that I want to give composers the freedom to decide, which works they want to present. And of course, you haven't had lack of opportunities to have your music played and recorded before, but we are very honored that you allowed us to champion your music in such a way.
Well, that's very kind of you. No, it's wonderful to be here. It's a wonderful orchestra. Wonderful always to work with you. I think composers generally like to have pieces recorded that haven't been recorded before. So the Fifth Symphony, of course, as you say, you're co-commissioner, so that's brand new. The Concerto for Orchestra is 11 years old, but this will be the first recording, so I'm delighted about that. And Supplica, we were surprised. It was supposed to be the first recording, but then another orchestra suddenly recorded it and released the recording. None of us knew anything about it.
But this is a great testament to you as well, I believe.
Well, it's nice that people are interested.
Absolutely, and I truly believe that the idea of us recording not only your music but championing American music as a whole is precisely to make it available to other conductors and other orchestras, that they get a chance to listen to it. They don't have to contact the publisher and get a perusal recording. No, it is available to you, and that hopefully this will make it and encourage other artists and other institutions to program the music. I mean, it was the same way with Beethoven and Mozart and Shostakovich. It's because we have access to this music that we can easily hear that many people say, you know what, I want to do that. So for us, it's absolutely imperative as an institution that we provide the leadership in making sure that this music just doesn't disappear or all of a sudden does not have the necessary presence that it deserves. Something interesting about this recording project is the fact that we have two full orchestra pieces, one more recent with the symphony and a little bit older with the concerto. But then Supplica is an interesting proposition because it's strings and brass only and harp. Is there any particular reason of why you wanted to make that combination? Have you used it before?
Not that specific one, although I wrote an organ concerto shortly after that. I think it was after that. I've gotten to the point where I lose track when I wrote what. But that also has, like Supplica, no woodwinds, except for a contrabassoon and a bass clarinet, but otherwise no woodwinds. I've reached the point where I figure, why use instruments I don't need? Why make them come sit on the stage and have to learn their parts and so forth, which will probably not be very interesting to begin with because I really didn't need them. So I just more and more have been writing for the ensemble that is limited to the instruments that I feel I really can use in the piece.
Well, it is a gorgeous piece. I have to tell you that preparing it, it's a piece that has such emotion to it, I feel, that also showcases not only the Nashville Symphony, but our beautiful concert hall. I mean, it's a piece that requires that beautiful, almost cathedral-like.
It needs a bloom.
Yeah,
sure.
and I think it almost feels to me that piece was almost custom made for a beautiful concert hall.
Well, that's why I composed it.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Little did I know when I composed it, though. Yeah. I was writing it for you.
And then, of course, thinking of the Concerto for Orchestra and the Symphony, which are works that are incredibly technically difficult. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
But there's nothing more beautiful, in my opinion, that challenges that get rewarded at the end. That although they are very, very difficult and you have to work extra hard, and at times there is a level of frustration from me and from the players because we're doing our best to catch up with all of your incredible imagination. At the end of the process, there is a great degree of reward. And I feel that is the mark of a composer that knows how far to push, but at the same moment, be absolutely certain that what is being written is within the boundaries of the instrumentation.
It's good to have had enough experience or education or whatnot to know what can and can't be done. I mean, I usually don't set out to write difficult pieces, although players are always telling me, "Oh, your piece is so hard," and it's not that was my intention. It just seems that they come out that way. But in this case, it's a concerto for orchestra. The members of the orchestra are the soloists. So yes, this one I did set out for it to be hard.
And by the way, you didn't invent the wheel there. I mean, we can talk about Mozart and Schubert and Beethoven and Mahler and Stravinsky and
sure.
everybody else who wrote,
Sure.
and even during their times, were considered to be unplayable. And here we are, Rite of Spring,
Right.
100 years later, it's now a standard part of the repertoire, and we're not as scared of it anymore.
Oh, I know.
As I said before, the idea that music is a living organism, the only way that we can evolve is by playing it. And it goes back to why it is important for us to record this music and leave a permanent record of this. And in the Nashville Symphony and myself, we're so proud that we have taken a lead with living American composers, because we do want this music to get played over and over and over and over and get inspire other of my colleagues and artists to say, we need to do it, because I do believe it is a time capsule of our times, and particularly here in Nashville with American music, we are completely devoted to it. And personally, I could not be more proud of the fact that not only I call you my friend, but my colleague, and that I very gladly am a champion of your music.
Thank you, and you do it so wonderfully. And speaking for so many composers, we're so grateful to you and this orchestra's terrific orchestra for having that commitment, not just to perform it, but to record the music as well, so that it's disseminated beyond just the live concert hall experience. It's something that we have enormous gratitude for. So
thank you, Chris.
thank you.
Always a pleasure to see you.
Great to see you too.